Welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan Marcel Bynek. With me, as always, is my steely-eyed co-host and producer, Abigail Ann Levy. Hello, Abby.
Hello, Ryan. Hello, listeners.
We got a great episode today. Abby, do you know what kind of music I would say to people who ask what kind of music I'm currently into? Do you know what I would say?
I don't. What would you say?
I would say sad 80s music, a la The Smiths, The Cure, that type of thing. And our guest today, Ben Gray of the band Dear Boy, fits that mold purposely as well. It's a great episode. Shout out to Caroline for hooking it up. I love his tunes. Love this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Gray of Dear Boy.
Hold on. Hey.
Hey, Ben, what's
Hi.
going on?
Not much. How are you? Sorry I'm so late.
Oh, it's no worries at all. Caroline messaged us, and we've just been here shooting the shit. She said
the only way to shoot it.
Yeah, man. She said you were stuck in traffic.
I went to I saw a doctor and whatever. I'm okay. Everything's cool.
Glad you're okay. And welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan. This is Abby. We're so happy to have you. We were just we did the intro and we said that like we love your tunes and it just fits our current, because like your taste in music, or I guess your current taste in music, ebbs and flows. One day you're into punk rock and one day you're into, I don't know, reggae, whatever. And lately I've just been into like a Dear Boy sound, and I call it, and don't hate me for calling it this. It's just sad 80s music.
I don't hate that.
Okay.
I was white knuckling it through that. No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Again, welcome to Bothering the Band. We ask our favorite musicians very stupid questions, but we always started off with, how are you and where are you?
I am well. I'm happy to report. And I'm sitting here in my living room in Hancock Park, Los Angeles.
Very cool.
And my dog is approaching. I just fed her and she's going to make a slight cameo. You just maybe get a nose or a whisker or something.
Well, we have, I'm sorry. I'm doing this for Abby. What? Just bust out that dog. Tell us everything about. Of course we do.
Hold on.
Oh,
hello, pretty.
So that's Ellie.
Ellie
is a storybook creature. She was rehomed to us like a little over a year ago. It's from we got it from a MAGA family, and there's no paperwork. She just sort of appeared in our lives, and she's really sweet and wonderful, and I just love her so much.
You said a MAGA family?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did
They're
a dive.
like, we don't believe in dogs.
Yeah, well, we don't know where she was on January 6th, so there are some questions in the household.
Oh, that's hilarious. We try to avoid politics, but if it's like dog politics, it's fair game.
Right. I'm not weighing in. I'm just letting you know sort of the history here.
Perfect. Ellie's adorable. And for those listening, Ben has, I don't know, just a ton of houseplants behind you. It looks great.
Yeah, they're taking over the place. We only started with one somehow. No, I don't know. We had just this really lot of light and a lot of windows, so I just felt like we needed a little bit of a shop of horrors. So this is what we got. Cool. And you, by the way, you have the KS of a Clerks poster in the background.
I do. Good call. Here we go, right there. Yeah, I've had that Clerks poster. I'm gonna guess since like 2000.
Oh, cool.
It's just followed me around. It's the one, like, I've had so many posters. Yeah. And most of them have found other homes or have gotten ripped or whatever, but that one lasts. And this is a
hoverboard.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. And you guys had Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah.
Signed to me.
To you?
To me, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I haven't put it up yet, but I have a Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's not signed, but it is a cool headshot. I'm gonna put up.
I did ask out Jennifer Love Hewitt when I was 14 at a coffee bean and tea leaf.
And
we're still together. No, I yeah, she is weird. She came in and I knew the barista. He was this older kid at my high school, and he got very visibly shaken when she walked in. And I don't know why I felt very confident. And I just said, she was complaining. She's on the phone. She's complaining. I don't have anywhere to go for New Year's Eve, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, my parents live down the street. And I'll be there because I legally have to. And she was very, very cool. She's like, yeah, I'll swing by. I'm like, yeah, you do that.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, if we're trying to one up each other, I can't wait to hear your next Jean-Claude Van Damme run-in or whatever the hell you've got.
I'll say this: Jennifer Love Hewitt, when I was a boy, that she was number one. That was, I think, if you're okay, I don't know how old you're, a child like me of the 90s, she was, she was it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you please. I don't want to interrupt this.
No, that's it. I can't. I've never hit on her. But that brings up. You were born in L.A.
I was born in Los
LA.
Angeles. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hit on Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's a big listener.
Well, I know. I mean, that's how I found out about the pod.
So speaking of Los Angeles, what's your favorite song about Los Angeles?
Well, anyone has a visceral reaction when asked that question to say Randy Newman, but I would say you have to, because it's in your bloodstream. I would say, firstly, I wasn't emotionally prepared for these fun of questions.
Oh,
like I've listened to the podcast, but I would say, you know what? Let's say that, just because that was the first time I heard a song where I realized, oh my God, I do live in Los Angeles. And I also feel like a lot of people who write songs about Los Angeles aren't from here. So it's usually kind of an outside looking in.
Is Randy Newman originally from?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Oh no, don't break the wall.
He sings like he is.
I love that he's like satire, and he never gets credit for being like a total satirist. It's very fun.
That's actually true. And I'm very happy to spend the rest of this time talking about Randy Newman, if you'd like.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, and it definitely won't be the last time. You've got a friend in me.
Oh my God, dude.
Nailed it. Let's just, out of curiosity, try to think of two other Los Angeles songs.
Well, I mean, any Red Hot Chili Peppers song for sure. Yes.
We just saw them in Orlando.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How cool was that?
It was great. We worked really hard.
Really, really good.
Oh, cool. Do you remember what they opened with?
I think it was Can't Stop. And they didn't. They didn't play Under the Bridge. A very famous LA song. Wild.
Which they were supposed to play, but most of the show got rained out. And so they skipped a few songs.
Really? Do you want me to write them an email about that or something?
I do, actually.
Do you have their email? We really want Flea on the pod, so if you could make that happen.
Yeah. I think I'm probably like one person away from a pepper.
Ooh, nice.
I could get to a pepper.
All right, just let us know if you can get us a pepper. We'll
Yeah. No. I'm thinking about it now. Yeah, I'm one seat away. Yeah, for sure.
It's just like humble brags over here hitting on JLH.
Listen, is that how this is coming off? Holy shit.
No.
Okay. Because if that's happening, let's stop.
No, not at all. I'm just teasing. This is literally the nature of the pod. We just shoot the shit. We ask you a bunch of dumb questions like that.
Great.
What was the last show Dear Boy played?
We played The last show we played was the Fonda. We opened up for a band called Palace.
Oh yeah, I know Palace.
Yeah. So here, and yeah, they're great. And here's the thing: we didn't know about. I'm actually happy to talk about this because I haven't had anyone to tell. We were added to the show, so we submitted for the show. I think our agent submitted us for the whole tour like months before it happened, and then I got a call from our publicist the day before the show, and she said, "Excited about tomorrow?" And I was like, "Well, that's great. I'm really happy for you. Why is that?" And she's like, "The show." So, well, who are we seeing? She's like, "Well, you." I was like, "Well, I'm not playing tomorrow." She's like, "No, you're playing the Fonda tomorrow." And I was like, "I'm absolutely not playing the Fonda tomorrow." She's like, "Hey, you're opening for Palace." And then she sent me a screenshot that we were added to the show. And like seeing an image like that is so crazy. Like it's so dreamlike. I like just to see that. And I was like, well, that can't possibly be. And sure enough that we were. What had happened was they had selected us and no one had told us. So their agent not only didn't negotiate anything with our agent, they accepted the offer they never sent. and so our drummer was in New York, so we had to fly him back in to do it, and it was mayhem. And that's the last show I played, and what a doozy.
That's a great story.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar was in the audience, and she was like so into. I'm just kidding.
Nev Campbell was there.
Yeah, Nev was like, yeah, Nev came out and played kazoo. It was really good gig, great gig.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's a really good pull. Okay, here's our first real dumb question.
Okay, yeah.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
Spalding Grey or Grey's Anatomy.
I'm kind of in an erotic mood, so let's go 50 Shades.
Okay.
Normally it would be Spalding, but
yeah.
Today I'm just feeling whatever that is.
This is gonna be a giggle episode. I know it. It's already.
Is that bad? Is that bad?
No, that's great. Okay. Laughter is infectious. People will love it.
Okay.
I have to ask this because I never have. Abby, Ben, have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
I tried to because of the namesake, and I knew when it came out, I knew that it was just going to be trouble. So I was just like, what is this? It's kind of like when I was in junior high, The Brave One came out. So you can figure out how old I am now. And I remember that my haircut was exactly the same as Jodie Foster's, and I knew that I was in trouble. Like I remember when the poster came out, I was like, this is bad for me. Because I look sort of like Jodie Foster. So I just remember that I saw it all around town. I was like, oh, gotta get into this under the scissor quick.
Oh,
so
man.
So when 50 Shades of Grey came out, I was like, what is this gonna be? What am I gonna have to deal with? And so I read a few chapters.
Not kidding. Our next question is, who do people say you look like most?
Okay.
Which is wild. You just brought this
up. Well, we're in tune. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like it's happening.
Yeah. It's shucking and driving. We're all clicking.
Yeah, we're clicking. I get this quite often. I do get David Bowie quite often. And that's fabulous. We have the same birthday, which is also strange.
Wow.
And that's who I used to get in high school. People said I look like a Michael J. Fox.
Okay.
And then now I get, I still get David Bowie quite often.
Yeah.
Who do you think I look like?
I was going to say that. Definitely. I was going to try to steer around that, but no, that's what I was.
That's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, for certain.
Thank you. I mean,
I like the Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Alex P. Keaton.
Thank you so much.
How tall are you?
I am 6'2".
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tall drink of water.
I'm a tall drink of water. And I'm still, this is like some Ripley's Believe It or Not, but like I think I'm still growing. I'm 51 and the last time I was in for the doctor, he's like, "Oh, you've grown." I was like, "But that's not real life." He's like, "Well, then I'm a bad doctor." And I was like, "You sure are. That'll be $500."
Or the what is it? The nurse or whatever wrote it down wrong. Because isn't that who like
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or their handwriting's bad.
Let's say it's more that than a first in science. But yeah,
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you could tell Ellie just groaned. She's not like that bit at all.
He's like, we get it. You're still growing.
Yeah, not emotionally.
And you're 51. You look 31. God damn it. Okay. Here we go with this one. This is scenario. You have dirt under your fingernails.
Yes.
How are you removing it?
Damn. That's a great question. First time I've ever been asked. First time I've ever contemplated it. I think depending on location, if I'm out in the wild, then it's going to be a quick do it yourself. If I'm home, I think it's like, well, I gotta come correct. Just get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah, you're gonna clip it, or
yeah,
okay.
We're gonna clip it.
Okay. Abby lives in the wilderness. What are you doing, Abby? You're using like a here we go for play on words. A Bowie knife.
Nailed
Delightful.
it.
Man.
Love it.
But yes, probably a buck knife. It's smaller and easier to carry around.
Okay. Abby, are you really in the wilderness?
Yes.
Where in the wilderness?
I live in Wyoming, about an hour and a half south of Yellowstone.
Okay.
Right on the Idaho border.
Oh, wonderful.
Surrounded by protected lands and national forests.
No way, really?
Mm-hmm.
How cool.
Yeah, I'm spoiled. Till winter comes. And then I'm a terrible, miserable, horrible person because it lasts for 8 months.
That's so many months. Oh my God.
That's a lot of months.
Maybe only 7 this year because it hasn't snowed yet.
Oh, that's great news. Fingers crossed for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and you're in Orlando?
I'm in South Florida. Abby and I have been friends since middle school in Orlando.
No way.
And I just happen to be a Orlando Magic fan.
Yeah.
We are Orlando Magic fan. And so I'm in South Florida. So it is brutally swampy, gross, hot 11 months of the year.
No in between.
The in between is we have to move to your neck of the woods. We were in LA. We did a live show at Hotel Cafe in May.
No way. God.
Yeah.
I wish I
next year we're gonna try to do it again.
Okay.
And man, it was May and it was like I remember being able to wear a leather jacket at night and I was just like, this is spectacular.
Yeah, it's nice.
But we just interviewed Fred Armisen and he was dealing with a heat wave. Is that still happening?
The heat wave was gnarly.
Yeah.
It was actually gnarly. Not like it was crazy. We had a shared kind of craze here. And we live on the second floor of our place and it's like a double boiler. Like we were cooking. Still kind of cooking when I think about it. But no, it's over now. Now we have like clouds and stuff.
That's where the plants came from. There was one plant and you went to sleep and then like the greenhouse effect, you woke up and there's like a jungle.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like we had some friends over last night and they commented on it too. And I'm like, oh, it is kind of out of control. And I don't know, because I was like, oh, we have so many windows. Like we've never had that before. We'll put some plants in them. But I didn't realize that they would, like, if you give a mouse a cookie, you give a plant like 12 hours of sunlight, they become mutants.
Oh man, that I think it's great though. It makes me want to get more plants for the house.
Thanks. Yeah, you can have any of these.
So we're going to LA next year.
Coming back with a ficus.
Show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Between two ficuses.
Fici.
Fici? Is that is that it?
It is now.
I said it with authority.
I don't even know how to spell that.
I love pluralizing words with the letter I.
I do too.
Okay. What's your favorite Christmas film? And there is a correct answer to this.
The answer, well, it's a 7-10 split is what it is. Because there are two answers.
Okay.
And these are the two answers.
So
the two answers are A Christmas Story and Die Hard. Those are the answers. Those are the answers.
Both of them.
Those are the answers.
Yes.
Wow.
When we were in LA, Ryan took me. So Die Hard is one of my favorite. And I will fight with anybody who says it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's
insane. I watch it every year. I don't care what Bruce Willis says. So when we were in LA, Ryan took me to Nakatomi Plaza so I could take my picture and
you gotta
be
go.
Nerdy. Yeah.
You gotta go.
So.
Yeah, those are the answers. And I don't accept anything else.
Fragile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Just
are you relieved?
So relieved.
Yes.
Like relieved, reassured, just blown away. I'm in love. I don't know.
Best friends forever.
I believe I'm posting this podcast with you guys next time. So great.
Oh, I love it.
We have an interview tomorrow night. Don't miss it.
Yeah, we have an interview with S.G. Goodman. Do you know who that is?
I better read up if I'm going to be talking to SG.
It's easy research. Everyone's pretty cool. Moving on, is there something that you are quote unquote rusty at? So you were good at it and then it kind of fell to the side.
Yes. Yes. I used to be the funny answer is that I used to be really good at hula hooping, and it's been a long time since I've done that. Wow. I've retired the hoop. But I would say that I used to be like an insanely good soccer player to the point where I was getting scouted to go to college for it. And I chose to start rocking instead because I didn't, I don't want to play sports. But I'm reminded every day that I used to be good at soccer because I have outrageously big quads. My legs are still quaddy, and so I can't fit. It's hard. You'll see now. You'll see photos of me, and you'll be like, "Oh, I get what he's saying."
I'm going to seek those photos out.
You'll see, and you'll see also the attempt at trying to mask it. You'll see oh, that's a high waisted thing. You'll see. But yeah, I used to be really good at soccer, and it's been a long time.
I was going to say, can you text us some quad photos? That's all we're going to use for the promo.
You want just quad? Knee up?
Giggles all the way around it. Yeah, sure. We want quads. That'll be
you
a good
start at OnlyFans with your quads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, only quads?
Only quads.
And I'm
having so much fun.
I'm literally the only user.
We have a call coming in from Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Really... I know those quads anywhere.
My ears are ringing.
Okay.
When's the last time you had a Diet Pepsi?
Oh, the Pepsi?
Pepsi specific.
Okay. Jesus Christ. I would. Oh my God. I don't know. I would say probably at Universal City Walk over 10 years ago, because I do recall a guy working at the concession stand saying we only have Diet Pepsi, and it being upset, and it stuck with me. Can't give you an exact date, but over 10 years ago.
That's exactly what happened to me. I took my kid to the movies over the weekend, and they didn't have Pepsi Zero or something like that.
Yeah.
And they Diet Pepsi, and I was bummed too. And I was like, fuck it, we'll go with it. And then it was so gross.
It's gross. It's medicine.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Oh, Abby loves it.
Yeah.
stockholder.
That's all Deb Levy drinks. So you just lost us our biggest listener.
Oh.
Well done, both of you.
Well, I think, how about this? Let's reframe it. I think it takes a very specific person and a very specific worldview and palate to understand the nuances of Diet Pepsi. And I think like we plebeians cannot understand what's going on inside that can.
That's a good save. That's a good save.
Sweat.
Ryan, say you're sorry to Deb.
I'm sorry. Deb is Abby's mom. Diet Pepsi and Bacardi Silver. And fridge cigs. She keeps her cigarettes in the refrigerator, which I think is, I'm not making fun of you, Deb. You're listening. I think it's badass.
It's pretty cool, actually.
I like my cigs a little cool.
Ooh, and they are cools.
And they are cool. It's wild.
Wow.
I have to backtrack to our other big listener. My older sister, shout out Audra Bynack. You mentioned hula hoops. My sister won on MTV's Spring Break in the 80s, like, I don't know, 90s, 80s, whatever, a hula hooping contest on air in Daytona Beach.
Are you kidding me?
So we need to set something up.
All right, I'll talk to my, let me talk to my hips and see if they're get back to you. They don't. I mean, well, the right one.
My hips, I'm turning 40. I'm turning 40 in 2 weeks, and I've noticed my hips are hurting a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. And you look like a young little thing.
We're all lucky. We're all lucky. Abby turns the big 40 on Tuesday.
Oh my God, congratulations. Yeah, you guys are really doing good.
You know, it's just immaturity. And
I mean, that is.
And Diet Pepsi.
I've heard that. I read that in a scroll somewhere.
Okay, window or aisle?
Ooh, great question. I thought I was, well, I'm going to say I'm window because I fall asleep on a plane. So I'm out immediately. Like as soon as it starts rumbling, I'm out. So I can be tucked and no one wakes me up. So I think I'm window. And I think people look at you with like some sort of chivalry too, right? It's like, I mean, if you take middle seat, you are, you're an angel.
If you take voluntary middle, like if you have the whole row open, you're like, I'm going to choose a middle seat.
My wife does not mind the middle seat. And I would say if it wasn't I mean, I don't think she believes it to be socially acceptable to prefer the middle seat, but I think she actually does.
Well, if you have like someone with you, but I'm saying if you're the first person to book the flight and you're like, I'm going.
Yeah. You're
but
nuts.
That could be the plan because now both of you are going, who just picks that? I'm picking a different row.
Right. That's interesting.
Bravo.
Well, not a chance I will take, but just saying there is another side to the coin.
Well, my new thing is this. I think all flights are full.
Mm-hmm.
For always and forever, they're full.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fathom an empty seat on a plane ever again. I don't think I've ever seen it in my adult life. And I'm saying that. Dude, quickly to stop, I love that JVCD is right on your shoulder like a little devil.
Yes.
Oh, man. So I'll tell you the story behind JCVD.
Cool.
I worked at a design advertising marketing firm years ago, and one of our clients was this Belgian craft brewery. And it was my idea. I was like, let's do the Muscles from Brussels. Let's do a Jean-Claude Van Damme day. And they went for it, and we did it a few years in a row. Great. And they, we had a cardboard cutout and like sumo wrestling. It was, very slightly racist and whatever. So I found, I forget how I found it, but I found like a fan mail thing, and I sent him the poster that we made, and I, said, come if you're in Florida.
I love this so much.
I quit the job. I didn't, and then it was like, I would say 2 years later after I quit the job and the last event. And the guy I worked with, who the president of that company, was like, "What's your new address?" And he's like, "I got something to send you." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I can't tell you, just open it." And he was like, "This is years later.
This is crazy.
And it says to Ryan." The journey that went on, I have no idea. That's amazing.
It's amazing. And I also just love like it being, I like to imagine that it was just weighing on his mind.
Like,
I gotta get feel bad. Ryan. Yeah. Crazy American accent.
I feel bad. I'm doing splits.
Feel really bad.
I'm doing all these splits and Ryan's over there somewhere. That's the story.
Over there somewhere.
So what is your favorite sad 80s song?
Let's see. God, there's just so many. I mean, you kind of got to go. You got to go with something with The Cure, right? Oh, well, no. My favorite one is actually Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want by the Smiths.
Yeah.
Because it really did make me feel sad the first time I heard it. I was like 14 years old. It's like right after I left the Coffee Bean and Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I was like, it hit me on Jack FM, and no, there was no Jack. No, but I remember hearing it and being like, whoa, like I feel really sad, and it's also just so gorgeous and great. Yeah, that's my favorite one for sure.
I mean, there are a few quote unquote correct answers, but I think that's probably the top. You could have named Joy Division and Bauhaus, and you know, there's a ton. The Cure, obviously. That's the one.
That song is it's real sad. Yeah, you're gonna start a song with Good Times for a Change. It's like someone questioning a good moment in their life. Like even this I can't enjoy is like really sets it as a gnarly tone. Yeah.
However, I was saying this, I forget to who, but sad songs make me happy.
Same. Yeah. It's funny. Like a lot of people who like our band too, sometimes are lulled in by the kind of like it presents as optimistic, and I mean, it's semi-optimistic, but it presents as like a nice time. And then it sort of is a Trojan horse of like, but
yeah, once you dive into those lyrics,
yeah, you can always tell. I love when sometimes people will say to me, they'll just be like, "Oh man, I love your music because it's so fun." You'll be like, passive listen.
I sent, I asked, because again, it hit me, you know, Dear Boy hit me, and I was like, I know 12 people that this is for, and half of them knew, you know, the band, and then the other half were like, this is perfect.
Oh, cool, man.
Thank you. But so happy for the, and we all agreed.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's really cool.
Of course. What's our next dumb question? Okay. What's the craziest animal you've seen like in the wild? Not in the wild? Cage. Yeah.
Okay.
But like also not on like a safari. You're
right.
not like in a book, like, you know, like you were just like LA is full.
Right.
I mean, you could be hiking up it, you know, and see a coyote or a mountain lion. But what's your answer?
Well, I did see a mountain lion. My friend, we're from the Valley. We grew up in like Sherman Oaks, right? But my friend was really into the outdoors, and he became a hunting outfitter, strangely. And I remember we went not hunting. He wanted to go hunting, and I brought a camera because we were 16, and I did see a mountain lion, and it was unbelievably scary. But I will say, I know this is not your question, but I do want to mention this. I did see an animal that this is weird. Last year we went to Rhode Island just to see leaves, right? So I just like love a leaf.
Love it.
And so we went to this pumpkin thing at a zoo, and it was at night. And I just remember the elephant was out, and I just realized I had never seen an elephant at night. And there's something so crazy about a moonlit elephant that you don't even contemplate like what that even looks like. So like seeing an elephant with the moon, I was like, this is odd, but wonderful.
Yeah, that's I don't know, poetic, frighteningly poetic.
Where's my guitar?
Elephants at night. There you go.
It's gonna be something. Middling success.
Elephants in the moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great song.
It sounds right.
Abby lives in the wilderness. She's seen it all. However, I'm, in Florida, there's canals and there's gators and they don't ever mess with anyone, but people from outside of Florida are like fucking gators. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Totally.
I'm not swimming in those things. So
right.
They're not coming to my door.
I feel like if I saw one of those, that would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty wild. What's crazy down here is when I first moved here, especially South Florida, there are iguanas. So I guess in the 90s, when every douchey guy with frosted tips had a pet iguana, and then they got too big and they let them go, and there's no natural, and they breed really fast, so they're everywhere, and they're fucking dinosaurs, and no one cares about them. And this is my little moment, is I'm like, oh my god, look at that giant iguana. It's like 7 feet long, and be like, oh yeah, whatever. And I'm like, it's bananas.
There's an iguana that lives in the apartment complex where our drummer lives, and it just hangs out by the pool. And I just remember asking,
bathing suits.
It's giant. It's so big. It's like it's a cool
pet?
iguana. Like it's out there. And I remember asking one time, I was like, hey Keith, like, what's up with that iguana? He's like, I think his name's King.
Again, he has it's personified. Right. He's like, hey, I'm King the iguana. He wears a tank top.
It honestly, yes. Like now that I'm remembering, you saying it makes me remember that he was indeed in a tank top.
It has to be neon colored, right?
Yeah. You're helping me remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's really King is really into John Mayer.
Yeah. I mean, who's not? Well, here's the question. Like, it's so funny to me that you did get mildly riled up about the iguanas. And it is funny because you are right that iguana was sort of like the pet du jour for a long time.
Yeah. Everyone's like, I don't know. Everyone had a friend who had a older brother.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Like I have a memory of being menaced by an older brother with an iguana.
It's, we're of the same, generational divide here. Okay. Do you own a robe or matching pajamas?
I do own. I'm not a robe person. I've never really understood. The robe just seems like there's just too much unpredictability. Like I never feel like, I don't know the headspace you have to be in to relax in a robe, because I feel like just anything could, and you're always constantly adjusting, and it's like a thing. Like I do have matching pajamas because I do like a Halloween pajama.
Nice.
And so I'll always try to obtain one, and it's usually only in a set for a man, like a growing man like myself. Who knows what size I'll need next year.
You know how the toddler sizes are like 2T, and like that's like you're moving up to like letters.
Yeah, it's the same clerk like checking me out is just like very confused.
Getting too big for your britches.
Yeah.
The clerk in my mind was a Midwest old lady. Sweetheart.
Yeah, very sweet.
Okay. We are a music podcast. We are considered music journalists.
Yeah.
And what the hell does mixing mean? When you say we're going to go mix the record, what does that mean? That's something I always say, yeah, I totally know what that is.
Okay. All right. So you saw how I got serious, like you did with the iguana. Okay.
Little different, but I hear you.
You say tomato. For me, it's like, okay, so mixing, the deal with mixing is like everything. Mixing is everything. So basically it's like how when you record something, you try to get as much as possible sounding the way you want it to sound going into the session. So like guitar tones, like vocal tones, like drum tones, like whatever, you're trying to like achieve a sound space and like sounds you're trying to create a tapestry like with the sounds that you have. But then the mixing is when you can do anything and everything. So it's like, how does the vocal sound? Where is the space for everything? Like not just volume, but like you can ruin everything. So like I always say, and by always I mean whether someone wants to hear it or not, I always tell, like, when you're recording something, you are like, it's the most fun part because you're like intoxicated by possibility. You're like, this could be anything in the world. So let's throw these ideas. It's very creative. And then mixing, you are confronted with the reality of what you've made. And then you are then trying to like work backwards and make it sound like supernatural. So it's very difficult. And we produced this record ourselves. We spent 10 months on it. And then we gave it to this guy, Tony Hoffer, who's this incredible mixer. But every time I could never do it. Like, it's beyond me. It's beyond everyone. It's mad science. Mixing is pretty much the dark arts. And then mastering is even more the dark arts. But it's where you can really, like, if my advice would be, if you're recording something, like, to spend as little money as possible on the recording and then everything on the mixing.
Wow, that incredibly said. And I think us as people and music fans, this is the stuff we love. The inside stuff.
That's
for
cool.
Me.
Oh, that's great. I worried as I was speaking, like my heart started racing. I'm like, oh, did it become not fun now?
No, I'm
okay.
Fascinated by it. And I see it because, like, I think as I've gotten older, I know and I've embraced what I'm good at and what I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we all have our strengths, and like where Abby is solid at, there's so much she does that I'm like, I don't care. Whatever, you got it. I don't even want to know about it. By the way, and then, but yeah, that's the magic and the cohesiveness. Whatever you said was great. Well said.
It's a trip. We were like, I've shared, like, I've commiserated with so many of my friends who make music, and there is no feeling worse than the crestfallen moment where you receive a first mix in an email, because your brain, even though experience has told you otherwise, your brain has told you that what you have recorded is fabulous. You're done. Like, as soon as you hear this mix, it's going to be perfect, finished. But you have a existential crisis every time. It doesn't matter how good your mixer is. It doesn't matter. Like, hearing back someone's interpretation of what you sent them is like a deeply chilling and depressing. Like, you're like, that was what we did. That's the credit card loan I took out for this. I sound like this. I wrote that word. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with mixing. You're like, wow. No, but yeah, it's wild. So while we were recording, like, we would be sent mixes because we just kept sending them out, like, while we were making the record, because we recorded during COVID. And so anytime an email came in, the day's over. Like, anytime a mix came in, it ruined everybody's mood. It's like, oh God. And then it comes back to this like place where it's really great. You love it. And music's so weird, guys.
Lay it on us. For those listening, what the album he's talking about is Forever Sometimes, which is a fantastic record, top to bottom, T to B.
T to B.
Go
Thank
listen.
you so much.
It was mixed perfectly. And it was first time it came out just ready to go.
We worked so hard. It was hard, guys.
Well, your story's crazy, is that you've been a band for so long, and that's your first
it's so dumb.
full-length album. That's
so
wild.
Dumb. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. But it's not dumb on purpose. Like, we weren't just chilling. Like, our whole deal was that when we started the band, we had recorded the EP, the first EP, which sounds like a totally different band, and we immediately were touring. Like, we kept getting very lucky. We had a lot of great tours and a lot of work. And so we only had enough money to record like a couple songs and then to like leave again. Mm-hmm. And so it was usually like just because of circumstance. And so we were always writing. So there are songs on this album that we started like days into the band. And then, when we sat down to record this album, we had like 70 songs finished. And we had to just sort of like, because we were always writing. And then we were like, oh, we have like a couple days in the studio, like, we'll do something. It's like, oh, this person wants to take us out or whatever. Like, oh, we got to get it done. So before we knew it, it was like 7 years had passed or something. And we were like, what is going on? And I remember when we were first meeting with record labels and stuff, they were baffled too. And then it made me baffled. And I was like, oh, right, that is strange. And then I was like, we're trailblazers?
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm.
And the best quote is like, Kevin Bronson from Buzz Bands wrote, it was kind of a burn, but it was also like these really like these veiled props. And he said, I'll never forget it. I love him so much for saying this. He's like, Dear Boy is pretty much the first band in history to have never released a full-length record, but already have a greatest hits album.
Oh, I read that. I did read that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that great? Like, and that's like, and I remember reading that and we all were like, damn, that's good. That's true. And it was only because we had like a really productive touring year in 2019 that we were able to like fund the album the way we wanted to make it. Because we weren't signed until last year. So
wow.
Yeah, we made the album on our own, and with no idea that it would ever come out, because like we started tracking in February at this really great studio that our friend owns, and then everything shut down, and then we worked from March to December pretty much 6 days a week, 12 hours or 10 12 hours a day. And it just like with the idea of like, will this ever come out? Like, will we ever play? Like, what are we even doing? Why am I spending so much of our money? Like, what are we doing? And it just was a crazy, crazy time. And then I shopped the album myself on Zoom. I had to buy a ring light. You got a little razzle dazzle. And then we signed in like late last year. And that was the first time that we ever had any money or any release date or anything. So like, I don't even remember the question, but my life's strange. It's a weird, making this album straight. Like, it was a long time, but it came out the way that we want. And I guess the moral of the story is follow your dreams. No, I don't know. The next album's written, whatever. It's going to be good.
The next album is called Elephant in the Moonlight.
That's right.
Dear Boy's greatest hits.
Damn, actually, that's kind of tight.
It's not bad. It's one of those things where it's like, the more we say, I'm like, all right, all right. Now we're cooking.
We are cooking.
Do you send postcards or physical letters?
I love sending a letter. I do have crazy handwriting. If you look at any of our material, like
terrible handwriting.
Let me get
I don't even want to show you, because also my notes just say Ellie the dog, storybook character. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Randy Newman.
These are
Fikai quads, and it says quads.
It's so crazy. Like, if I was if I was murdered now, that's all you have of me.
Oh man, don't even say it. I hope you don't get murdered.
We're
going to be the prime suspect.
I think I hope more than you that I don't get murdered. No, I do love a letter. I think like my handwriting's become kind of infamous in our circle, and it's like I think we want to make like a downloadable font of it, because it's like on a lot. It's on a lot of our album artwork and stuff.
I like that a lot. I was gonna say, if you want, we'll send you some mail. We like sending mail a lot.
Love mail.
Yeah, we're again children of the 90s, so we love sending stickers and buttons and shirts and to people we like. So yeah,
yes, please.
You have or just you can email us botheringtheband@gmail.com your address, and we'll get you something. I'm going to the post office tomorrow. So I go to the post office more than anyone. I love it.
I actually don't hate it either. I send all of our merch out personally too.
Oh, nice.
And you might think I'm insane, but I like to wait for the window.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's the only way I know it. Yeah, it's the only way I know it happened.
Here's the thing. Do you know about Media Rate?
No. Oh, you mean, yes, I do. Yeah, yes. Media Mail. It's like,
yeah.
It's like $3.75 or something.
Yeah, well, you send, CDs and book. I think it's like CDs, albums, and books.
Yeah, that's how I send our vinyl.
Yeah, everything, because I have a bunch of books out, and so I'll send my books to people, and I'm always like Media Rate, and now it's anything, and it's like a plush bag, and I'm like, it's Media Rate. They're like, what is it? I'm like, it's a kid's book.
Like, this is clearly a futon. Like, no.
It's a kid's book for teething, so you can bite on it. And I have said that before.
I believe it.
What's the last punk album you listened to?
Oh, I do love a punk album. I would say that I listened to Rotting Fruit, probably. Those are what I listened to. I listened to Collection 1 from the Misfits, because
nice.
I do, like, obviously it doesn't really count as an album, as it's a collection, but I was trying to figure out, Dear Boy loves to cover Misfits songs, and we like to kind of like reinterpret them, and then sometimes we'll do like, this has been haunting us forever, like we have wanted to record and release just for Bandcamp or something, kind of like an angular like Misfits EP thing that we always talk about doing it. Weirdly, my voice, I don't know why, lends itself to that stuff. Did you hear that beep? So sorry. I was listening to Collection and Earth AD when I went to Vermont last week.
How do you feel about Famous Monsters?
It's I mean, look, tricky question. It's fine. Like, it's like, you're like, cool. You're like, well, Michael Graves has got a great voice. He's nuts. I do love, I remember when I was in high school, and I was, junior high probably, and I was learning about the Misfits, and it was all presented at one time to me. So it was all in one bouquet, right? And at that time, when you're 11, 12 and you're into punk, that's how I got into all things. I was in a punk band called NFNR, Noise for No Reason. And if you want to check my credibility, we did open for Fear. So
wow.
When we were 12. So that weird show.
Where
what?
I could talk about that forever.
Yeah, weird gig. It was at the Whiskey.
Okay.
So, and that was one of the first shows I'd ever played. So it was just like a lot of life.
Yeah.
All at once. And that was interesting. I didn't realize how that happened, because as a kid, you don't know how anything happens. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I loved Fear, and I loved, like all of us loved Fear.
Mm-hmm.
But I then realized that my friend's dad managed Fear, and that's how that happened. And my dad's friend, not my dad's friend, my friend's dad was the singer, one of the singers of Three Dog Night. And that singer, Danny Hutton, managed Fear.
And so Jennifer Love Hewitt is behind you right now.
She was our roadie. Yeah, so I don't know why we're just talking punk now. Is that what we're doing?
Now we're just talking punk rock. You were talking about Misfits and just diving into Misfits as a whole when you're younger.
Yes. So I was taking on anything. So I was taking on, like, if it was punk and drublick, if it was Buzzcocks, if it was like, what do we do? Like, what is it? Is it melodic and fast and angry? Like, then I want that, like, whatever it is. So for Misfits, I just was like, this all sounds different. But I remember, like, you know, I didn't really have like a refined palette. Do I now? Who knows? So to answer your question, Famous Monsters, we're going to give it as a record, we're going to give it a B-. As a Misfits record, it doesn't qualify.
I think that's a very diplomatic way to put it. And I agree, where I got into, you know, the Misfits as just one blanket thing. I didn't know this is before the internet, so it's just a literal compact disc. And I loved it. And we're not music snobs here, unless someone talks shit about Taylor Swift or something. But
right.
I love Saturday Night.
Saturday Night's great. And you got Scream too.
Yeah, Scream is so good.
You got Descending Angel in there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna buy a Famous Monsters shirt now. Really? Well, no one here where I live in the suburbs is gonna know what the hell that is, but I know I'm gonna wear it somewhere. I'll wear it to LA and someone will be like, F you, bro. Like, someone get mad at me.
Don't do it. A friend of mine is opening for the Misfits.
Wow.
That their New Year's Eve show. We just found out.
Who's the friend? Can you say or no?
Yeah, Tiger Army.
Oh wow, cool.
What?
Yeah, we share a rehearsal space with Tiger Army. Well, Nick 13 was one of my groomsmen at my wedding.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's just insane.
I'm from LA, guys. I'm from LA, center of the universe. Who else do I know?
I would say there's not a I don't know, 48 hours that goes by that Abby and I are like, do we have to move? We have to move there.
You probably do. I mean, I feel like you're both so funny and nice and cool. You'll fit right in. No, here's the thing about Los Angeles is that the people who, it gets a bad rap from the people, like it's filled with people who aren't from here. So it's filled from people who came here for a reason. You know what I mean? So it's like seeking a thing. Like the people who are like legit from here are the tightest. Like my friends and the other musicians who have like grown up in this community and like played in this world. Like,
so you are pretty tight.
I'm so tight, like
pretty dank.
It's unreal. Like not a day goes by that like one of my doctors doesn't tell me that I am super tight.
And you're growing
and stretchy. You're tight at any height, my bro.
That's brilliant. That's a lyric right there. Tight at any height.
How do you think I do it, man?
Oh,
bunch of nonsense.
I
love it. I love it. So I am a New Yorker at heart, and
cool.
LA gets a lot of New Yorkers, especially in my world of musicians and writers and comedians, that shit on LA. It's just, they have to. It's kind of like the younger, better looking brother almost.
Okay.
But I've always wanted to not like I've been half a dozen times and I love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And the thing is this, like, and I have no bias with this that I'm aware of, other than I live here. But
and born and raised.
Right. And I'm running for mayor. But the thing is that like my love of this city is like exponential. Like it's like, it is such a there's the culture's so dense and there's so much interesting stuff happening in so many pockets of people. And like, it's a fascinating thing, but it's kind of like it's also a slow burn. Like there's just so much that you like to be here and like to have lived here, 66 years, like I have, and to just still be discovering new things. It's, I love it. And I do hard recommend if you already like it at all, then you'll love it.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Like,
pick you up.
Okay, this is my favorite question, and it's not even a question. Can we just talk about the band Sponge?
Wait, how would you know to bring up Sponge?
Well, we're very good at research, and we read that when you were starting out, you were looking for a certain sound,
yes.
and all in this you left like that reminds you. We always say this. Let me say this. We always say that music is a time machine. You hear a song, a specific song, no matter what it'll bring you back to a specific place. It could be Shania Twain, it could be the Misfits.
Yeah.
And that song, Plowed by Sponge, brings me back to 7th grade. Like first period, 7th grade.
No way.
Falling in love with new music. It wasn't just like pop or whatever. And I don't know. Sponge has a soft spot, and I was like, "Oh, I get to talk about Sponge."
Yeah, no, it's funny because, there's a sacred tradition of older brothers and older sisters as a passing down of music. So when I first heard, I remember hearing. So my friend Andrew Kasatsu, his older brother Kevin, who then worked in the music industry later, that's how I found out about everything. Like I would start with punk, where I would see like a logo written on a folder or something. And then I would like go back to him and be like, what's that? And then he would educate me. And then with Sponge, I just remember hearing Molly.
I love it.
Now the thing about that is the guitar tone from the middle section of that song, like there's like a solo section to the outro. There's like a lead guitar tone that has like the perfect amount of chorus and delay and the perfect amp chain, or the amp and pedal chain, whatever the hell they're doing. It is like, everyone always sort of compares our music to, like, they'll be like, oh, it's like the Creation Records thing or Factory Records, or they'll say, they'll say Ocean Blue, or they'll say Railroad Children or whatever. And then I'll also be like, yes to those things, but also like the guitar tone that I always have been chasing my whole life is that like that perfect single note thing in that song. Like it's like 2 minutes in, it's like when his vocals gets all sorry, it's the most perfect jangle. And there's like an acoustic underneath doubling it, and it's just like the sound of it to me is like, it's interesting that an alternative band was able to master like a jangle pop aesthetic like that, and they never get any sort of credit for that. But it's because it's a rock band, but that guitar tone, holy smokes. And it was so romantic to me, that song. Like, well, firstly, this is like probably TMI, but just like the idea of seeing anyone in the bath was so crazy to me. Like, can you say that and recorded music? Like, can I see that at some point? So the whole atmosphere really kind of informed how I wanted to like what I wanted to be.
I'm connecting with this on so many levels. As a kid, again, getting into music, when you heard like a curse word, you're like, oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like writing. I remember when I fell in love with certain writing, it was like, I didn't know you could do that.
Right.
I thought it was this way only.
Yeah, exactly.
And I found this out. And now Molly's just going through my head a bunch, and I can't wait to listen to it. 16 candles down the drain.
After he starts like yelling drain, like that guitar thing that happens after that, you just like listen to it and just imagine me with like Jodie Foster's hair, like losing my mind, like losing my mind.
Oh man. Okay, the next thing I read, and I want to rehash it. I want to hear a little bit more about it.
Scared.
Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah.
Please, I don't know if Abby got this one. So tell Abby the Gene Wilder story, because the reason I'm asking this is it fits our aesthetic too. Like, we started this thing because one, we're not musicians. We love music. It's our first love. We're like, how do we become friends with our favorite musicians? And the answer, and everyone asks us this, is like, how do you get these people? I go, we just ask. That's
all.
It.
Yes.
And so anyways,
Gene Wilder. You guys like Gene Wilder?
Of course.
Okay. So I was obsessed with, again, like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Gene Wilder. I mean, always obsessed with Gene Wilder, but like, I just was like, how do I like meet Gene Wilder? And there was, I would ask my parents, I'm like, can Gene Wilder come to dinner? Like, can you invite Gene Wilder over to dinner? And they're like, that's an insane thing. But what happened was they were able to find his address. I think like somehow I asked my dad the story recently when I hung, because I'll tell you, but like, I was like, how did this Gene Wilder thing happen? And he was just like, well, we just got his address. And so what happened was, when I was like 12 or 13 or something, I wrote Gene Wilder a letter, and I just sent it to him, and he wrote me a letter back. And then he and I became pen pals all through high school. So, like, and I never met him for real, but like, we corresponded. So to answer your letter question, it's like my love of letter writing is also because of Gene Wilder, because I would write him all the time. And by all the time, I mean like probably twice a year, but like, I have the first one he ever wrote me framed in our place.
Oh, amazing. I love that you have that.
Yeah. And I'll send it to you. And it's just a very like terse, sweet thing. But it's like, it's unbelievable. And I kind of put it out of my mind that had happened. When you think like certain parts of your life are fantastical for some reason or another, and you almost feel like you misremember them, or like you supply kind of like the supernatural quality to it. So like, to me, it was like a half remembered dream anyway, that happened, and I didn't think like, and then when we moved in here, and I was like, I saw it, like that all this stuff, and I just forgot that, and I was like, oh my God, that actually happened. So it's like, it's not something I take lightly at all. I think he's the greatest ever, and I still watch his movies all the time. But yeah, I was pen pals with Gene Wilder.
Have you read any of his books? He's written a few books as well.
Yes. And I have also, because also my family was obsessed with Gilda Radner too. So like, I'm very interested in his life and all of his work. So anything on him I can find, I want.
That's amazing. What a great story.
Isn't that fan-fucking-tastic? Also, it brings up what we were talking about with music, how at a certain point something comes in your life and you're like, I didn't know that was possible.
Right.
And that's how I felt about Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Where I was just the right age to see it and without distraction. And I thought it was so funny and silly that I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I was too young to even know what that is. But
that movie has meant a lot to me. Like I'll still mutter to myself for no reason around the house. I'll just go, where are you going? I was going to make espresso. And I do that.
I love it.
Like I do that sometimes. No one knows this, but like if we have people over or something, like sometimes when they leave, I just say it quietly to myself. Like the night's over and I may have made espresso. But I just like to, as they walk to their car, say that.
That movie's referenced in my world on a very regular basis.
You gotta. It's a healthy world.
I mean, and then I meet people and I'm like, hi, my name's Abby. And the amount of people who respond with Abby normal, I guess I should be impressed.
I mean, yes, you should. I kind of am too, actually. That's pretty great.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. I don't hate it.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a way to kind of close out this episode. Do you follow us on Instagram?
I don't, but I'm going to do that. Now, here's the thing.
Well, we were following the band, but then it hit me while I was like, I want to follow him personally.
You can.
Like a creep.
No, please do that.
Yeah, just did.
I'm going to probably wait 9 or 10 minutes just to keep it interesting.
Yeah, totally. I get it.
This is how we build our follower base, though. We shame everybody we interview into following us.
That's a long con.
It is a long con. And it's also, instead of being like, hey, everyone, follow Bothering the Band, it's just like subliminally, like if you're listening, hopefully people are following.
No, I love it. This is like my favorite thing I've ever done. I loved it so much.
That's our goal, is just to kind of break down expectations and not be a boring press, blah, 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 you know? And I think we think questions like our dumb questions, get to know people better than like, what was your inspiration behind this track? Or, you know, like where it's a little bit more unobtainable to just music fans like us.
Totally.
That being said, you are a music fan as well. You can tell. And if you could interview anyone, any musician, live or dead, in the vein of Bothering the Band, who would you interview? And what stupid question would you ask them? Easy answer. I would bother, and you're not bothering me, but I would bother Jarvis Cocker from Pulp. He is my favorite. I love him very much. I don't even know what I'd ask him. I mean, I find him to be fascinating. He's the ambassador for Amtrak. So I think maybe I'd like. I've heard this before.
I have. This is new.
I like Amtrak. Yeah,
so I would probably start there. And just.
Which is your favorite route? You're like the California Zephyr.
Yeah, exactly. You a Zeph guy? Yeah, you strike me as a Zeph guy.
I'm an empire builder.
Yeah, I think like. I mean, the fear with him though is I just would want him to like me so much that I'm afraid that would happen, and that's weird. Like getting to meet people, you know, like a J Love, you know, like you just hope that someone that you revere like that is gonna reciprocate, you know.
Absolutely.
And if she played music, then she would be the one person I want to interview.
She does.
She did put out a couple pop songs.
That's right.
Bare Naked was one of her.
Amend that answer.
Yep. Oh,
question 1. Do you remember me? Question 2. Why not?
Oh, I can't wait. If we ever got her, I'd be like,
no.
Ben Gray.
What do you got?
Oh yeah, we have Can't Hardly Wait tattooed.
We love her so much. We got the movie tattooed on us.
Hell yes. Oh my God. That's rad.
Ryan has it too.
Just as Sponge is a unsung 90s band, Can't Hardly Wait is the unsung 90s teen film that I think is brilliant.
Absolutely. We used to cover the Yaz song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I'll say this, are you familiar with the shot in Josie and the Pussycats when the blimp is in the background and the writing on the blimp says Can't Hardly Wait was underrated?
I don't know this. I know the blimp, but I don't. I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen Josie and the Pussycats once in the theater whenever it came out, 99. I don't know.
Throw it on.
Well, I will be now.
Throw it on. Can't hardly wait was underrated.
Ben, what's next for you and Dear Boy?
We're doing I can't believe the album's out. It's blowing my mind. But we are we're doing our 2 release shows. So we're headlining the El Rey in Los Angeles, which is a big deal for us.
Yeah.
And a big deal for a kid from the Valley to do. And then we're headlining elsewhere in Brooklyn. And then
love that place.
Never been, heard great things. And then we have a lot of stuff that we can't really say yet, but it's a lot of touring. It's going back to Latin America, specifically Mexico. And yeah, we'll be touring on this for a long time.
Well, if you're anywhere close to us, we will definitely be there. And when we come back to LA, we'll hit you up. Please email us your address. We'll send you something for sure. Nothing creepy, but everyone follow Dear Boy Official on Instagram. Ben, this has been so much fun.
Totally. I've loved it so much.
For real, like so many giggles and so like just connecting on music and life and funny. I love the callbacks. We're ending on Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's great.
Had to be done. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, man. And we'll be in touch. And that's our show, everyone. Ben Gray from Dear Boy. Go listen to Forever Sometimes right now. It's so fucking good.
Thank you.